Hello everyone. So today I'm going to start SAS training. So in this curriculum I'm going to cover base SAS, advanced SAS. In advanced SAS I will cover proc and all the topics related to advanced SAS. And then I will cover macros, and then we will jump on the domain part. Now the point is, who are the people and who are the student who can take benefit from these classes? So first of all, the students who want to prepare for clinical SAS job, this is the first thing. Apart from that, students who want to become a SAS developer, because SAS is applicable in number of domains and clinical is one part of it. Apart from that, SAS is being used in industries like insurance, telecommunication, and IT industry. So there are a number of fields, and SAS developer, like, they are in demand always, because this is one of the secure tool, and if you have all the required skill set, then it becomes quite easy to get a job. Alright, now I'm going towards the content of the course. So this is the content that we are going to cover. So I have divided the entire content into some steps. So the step 1 is we will cover base SAS. Then the next step is we will cover structured query language, that is SQL, and this is a part of advanced SAS only. And in the third step we will cover advanced SAS. So the topics like proc compare, proc append, then we have proc content. Mainly the topics related to advanced SAS will be covered in step 3, and then we have step 4, that is macros. This is what we have in step 4. So macros is the tools for automation, and that we will cover in this particular step. Okay, so this is the technical knowledge that we will acquire during this in these steps, mainly from 1 to 4. Now the point is, we don't have to only like complete the syllabus. That will not benefit us. The main point is we have to master it. We have to try our level best to achieve the level of excellence, so that whenever we get a project, or maybe we are preparing for the interview, we should be well enough aware about our craft. Alright, so this is, and after completing the technical domain, then we will go towards step 5. So in step 5 we will start gathering the domain knowledge. So in domain knowledge, now it depends on person to person whether he wants to go to clinical SAS domain, or to the banking sector, or to the insurance sector. He can start acquiring the knowledge accordingly. And then in the step 6, like, we have to create a live project, and then resume building mainly around SAS and appearing for the interview, and then we will the student will get the job. So these are the steps, and we are going to cover in this way only. Alright, so today we are going to the step 1 is base SAS, and I am going to cover base SAS in the upcoming classes. Alright, so starting with the first topic. So what is SAS? So SAS stands for Statistical Analysis Software or System. So this is the full form: Statistical Analysis Software or System. So you can also understand from here, it's analysis. So mainly it's used for analyzing purpose, the statistical areas. Alright, and then it was developed in the year 1970. So it was developed around 53 years ago, and still it's in demand. So the reason is the SAS is very secure environment, so it's almost impossible to leak any kind of data from this particular environment. So the companies related to pharmaceutical or banking or insurance sector, they prefer to use SAS. And then it's used for data analysis. We have analysis here in the definition as well, statistical analysis software. So similarly it will be used for data analysis, criminal investigation, and then we have data management as well. And these are some widespread uses of SAS. It's been used in data management, like if we have a large number of data and if we want to manage it, we can use SAS. Then it's been used in business planning, then operations research and project management, then quality improvement, application development, then we have data extraction, data transformation, and then data updation and modification. So this is some theory. So these are some of the topics where you can use SAS. And more importantly, when we have very huge large data sets, so data set is nothing but tables. So when we call data sets in SAS, table means data sets. All right, so when we have a large data set, so in that case we can use SAS. All right, fine. Now I'm going to clinical SAS. So what is clinical SAS? So as the name suggests, the application of SAS in clinical domain or in pharmaceutical domain, it comes under clinical SAS. Okay, so this is the definition we have learned. So when SAS was developed, so initially it was meant for agriculture research. So initially its main purpose was towards agriculture research, and as the time passed, so this software or this environment started using in finance and management, then in healthcare sector, in the clinical data management specifically, and in the pharmaceutical research, mainly the clinical SAS. Okay, now how the software work. This is the basic, like how we are going to use this software. So first of all, we have a raw data. So whether it's raw data of a clinical SAS or a banking sector or an insurance sector, so the first step is we have the raw data. This is data mine database. So this is where that raw data will be stored. Okay, this is the second step. We have the raw data. Let's suppose we have data in the form of a Excel sheet. So first of all, we will import this data into our environment, and then we will store it into our database, or alright, data mine database. And then here our work starts. So here you have to do the transformation or modification in the data as per the requirement, and finally we will create our final output. So the final output will be in the form of some charts, or maybe in the form of CSV or Excel sheet, or in the form of PDF. So all that is possible by using SAS. Okay, now introduction to SAS software. So the software that we are going to use in this curriculum is SAS Odamid. Okay, so the reason is why we are going to use SAS Odamid. So first of all, it's a open source, like we don't have to like invest anything here. It's free of cost. And let's start how we can use SAS Odamid. So this is the how SAS Odamid looks like, but we will see from the starting how to register and make our login credential there. So what you have to type here is you have to type SAS Odamid. The browser is Google Chrome or any browser that you want to use. So when you type SAS Odamid, so this is SAS Oda SAS Institute. On the first link, click on this. Alright, so when you click on this, you will get screen like this. Not a screen like this, because I have already created my like I have already signed up, so that's why it's showing my credentials, and I am directly going to launch it. So what you have to do is you have to sign up, and then you will get the login credential. So then after getting the login credentials, you have to click on launch, and when I click on launch, alright, so this is how the environment of SAS Odamid looks like. Okay, now these, if you look at these 7 dots, I am going to click on this new options, and I am clicking on new SAS program. Okay, so today in this class I am going to cover all the windows in SAS. Okay, so first of all, the main objective is we need to get familiarized, or we need to get aware about this particular environment. Okay, all right. So in this training we are going to use SAS Odamed, which is open source mainly, but if I talk about the companies, they are using SAS EG. Now the point is, if you learn how to use SAS Odamed, so SAS EG and SAS Odamed, they almost are same. There are some differences, I know, but you will understand how to write the code in SAS EG as well. That's not a major issue. And if I talk about the version, so some companies are using version 8.3 and some are using 9.4. So 9.4 is the latest one or the updated one. Alright, now we are going to learn all the SAS interface component. So these are the components that we are going to learn today. So the first thing is the code. So as the name suggests, here we are going to write our code. So let's suppose I am writing a code, data a set SAS help dot class and run, a basic one. I will tell you what does it mean in the coming slides or in the coming lectures, but for the time being we just need to understand that we have to write our code under the code section. So if I just run this, okay, so the code got executed. So this is covered. So here it's code or sometimes it's editor in some interfaces. So here we are going to write our code, and this next part is log. Okay, this is log. So here in log you will get the entire detail, like how the code got executed. So it's we will try to understand this, what it is. So it's saying that there were 19 observation. Okay, so observation means rows. In SAS, observation in rows. Read from dataset SAS help.class. So it's saying that there are 19 observations reads from this inside dataset A. Okay, so if you look at the output, so we have 19 observations. Okay, all right. Apart from that, log plays a very important role for the debugging. So if you have any error when you are writing a program, so that can be understood by looking at the log. So let's suppose if I just remove this semicolon, okay, and if I run this, now you can see we got an error. Okay, so it's saying that file work.run.data does not exist. All right, because we haven't used semicolon sign here, that's why we got a problem. Okay, so all these problems can be resolved by using log. So if we have any error or a warning, that will be resolved by looking at the log, and then we will make the change in our code. Okay, now we have two things in log. The first one is error and the second one is warning. So if I talk about the error, so it's basically fatal. So it means if we get an error, the code it's not going to run. So in this case, if we have an error, so the code is not going to run, and the warning is non-fatal. So it means if we have a some warning in the code, in that case the code will run, but there is some warning. I mean, the warning is non-fatal. The code will run as expected, but it's not the efficient code. So the best practice is we have to remove all the warnings as well as errors while writing our code. So this is the log. For example, error, this is fatal. All right, so it will not allow the code to run, and the warning, they are non-fatal. The code will run, but that's not an efficient code. All right, now the next window that we are going to see is result. Okay, so if I talk about result, so let's suppose if I want to proc print data is equal to a and then run, and if I just click on this, okay, so in the result window you will get the output in the form of a link. So this is the link. If I just click on this, download result as an HTML file. So if I just click on this, okay, so this is how we get the output in a result window. So if I talk about result window, so most of the time when you are using proc print, so you will get the output here inside results. So this is a printed form of the data set. Okay, fine. And then if I execute this code, okay, so this is the output data. This is the fourth window that we get. So when I'm writing data is at SAS run, so the real data set that we get will be here in the output data. Alright, so these are the four windows. The first one is code or editor, sorry, where we are going to write our codes. The second one is log. It will display the process, and there are two things. The first one is error and the second one is warning. If we have an error, it means it is fatal, the code will not run, and if we have a warning, the code is going to run, but this is not the efficient code. The third window is result. So here output is stored in the form of a link, and finally we have a output. So in the output, data is stored in the form of a link. Mainly here we will get a real data set. Okay, so this is the code editor where we are going to write our codes. This is the first thing. This is the long window. Here you will understand how the code is working, whether we have any error or a warning. And then we have a result window. In the result window, you will get the printed output like this in the form of a link. And finally we have an output window. Here you will get the real data set. Okay, so that's enough for the day. So today what you have to do is, first of all, just log into SAS Automate, give your credentials and create and get the login. And after login, just understand the interface of this particular software. And in the next class, we are going to write our first SAS code. Okay, fine. Thanks a lot.